What's up guys, welcome back to another episode of Footballrs. My name's Tony and you can follow me down below at Lineman Football. Today's video, we're going to be continuing with the best equipment for every position series. Today, as the lineman guy here, I'm going to be checking out O-linemen. Now for all you O-linemen out there, we're going to be looking at every piece of equipment that we recommend head to toe. We tell you what the pros wear, what we recommend, and where you can buy it. Every product we talk about today will be linked in the description down below, and a lot of them are affiliate links which help us out a lot. So if you ever do want to pick any of these up, don't forget to use those links down below. Thanks. Okay, so the first piece of equipment that we're going to talk about is going to be starting at the top. We're going to talk about the helmet today. Now, as far as the helmet, I recommend for center, guard, and tackle, it's going to be the same across the board. And that's going to be this one right here, a Riddell Speedflex. Now, the Riddell Speedflex is the most popular helmet with NFL linemen by far. Now, I think it could be for a couple reasons. Number one is going to be the shape of the padding on the inside. I've heard rumors before that the shut is better for someone with like a long, skinny, peanut-shaped head, like a wide receiver, whereas Riddell's helmets are better for people with big, rounded, bowling ball style heads, and that falls in the category of most linemen. So I think that's why, by far, the Riddell Speedflex is the most popular lineman helmet. Another thing it might be is also the face mask options. Maybe just some of the face masks that Riddell offers versus like Shut or Vices are just better, and that's why more linemen go with it, because they like the face mask options. Now, we've talked about this so many times on the channel, but what makes the Riddell Speedflex unique is going to be this hex panel on the front right here. Now, this might also be why linemen prefer it, because this panel pushes in on the top of your head, whereas the Shut F7, they're more of those tectonic plates which shift for hitting. So maybe just because where linemen are taking a lot of impact right on the crown of the head right there with those head-to-head hits, maybe that's another reason they prefer it as well. The Riddell Speedflex is worn by guys like Quentin Nelson, Trent Williams, and Terran Armstead. Now, if you do want to pick up a Riddell Speedflex yourself, we have one linked in the description down below. It's $440. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be the face mask options that you have when you're going with this helmet. Depending who you are and how you play, you might want something a little more open for visibility or something a little more closed. Either way, the one thing you are going to want is angled bars. The reason I really like angled bars in my face mask is because angled bars are just straight up harder to grab onto. Because of that, I'm giving us a couple different options. Number one is going to be this one right here that I actually have on my helmet. This is going to be the SF2EG-TX face mask. That stands for Speedflex, 2EG is the eye guards on the side, and TX stands for this Texas style bars here. As you can see with these angled bars, it makes it a lot harder to grab onto the face mask here and just makes it very awkward, a lot harder to get face masks and use it to hold onto. This has loads of visibility on it, which is why a lot of tackles prefer this face mask, and it also still does have the eye guards to give you a little bit of protection on the side as well. Now, if you want something with a little less visibility and a little more bars, you should check out this one here. This is the SF-2BDC-TX. So it stands for Speedflex, 2-bar down closed is the style, as it is a more closed off face mask around here, and TX again stands for these Texas style bars. The reason I like this one is the Texas bars are still really hard to grab onto, still a good amount of visibility, no eye guards because it is already a thinner slot, so you still get lots of visibility from side to side, and it looks like a nice heavy overbuilt face mask while but still being super lightweight. Now, if you want to pick up this one is $99, link down below, and the 2EG version is $109. Terran Armstead actually wears this one, and then Taylor Luan wears the 2EG. Now, another optional accessory, if you do want to go with a more open style face mask, is going to be a visor. It is becoming more popular with guys in the NFL to rock a more open style face mask, but then give themselves a visor so they still can't get any hands or fingers inside their eyes, but still give them all that visibility and protection. Now, if you've ever played on a turf field and someone sticks their fingers down by your eyes and they have those turf pelts on it and those pelts get in your eyes, it's extremely painful. That's why a lot of guys choose to wear a visor if they are going to go with something really open like this. Now, you can fit this visor on this style as well, but the more bars it has, the harder it is to fit that visor in there cleanly. The two visors we always recommend are going to be the Shock Zero G visor. They are a partner of ours. Now, that name stands for Zero Gap, and that's because this visor was specifically made to fit this Speedflex helmet. As you can see, there's no gapping on the top. It fits on this face mask fantastic. However, Oakley is the official sponsor of the NFL, so all the guys in the NFL will be wearing an Oakley visor. You won't see a Shock Zero G on Sundays. Now, Jason Peters and Dion Dawkins both wear a Oakley visor. But if you do want to pick up either of them, they are in the description down below. These are around $45 and the Oakleys are a little more expensive. I think they average around $70. Guys, support for this series is brought to you by Manscape, the best in men's below the waist grooming. Guys, I picked up the performance package for myself and it comes with a lot of fantastic products inside. In this package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker nose and ear trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, ball toner, performance boxer briefs, and this sick travel bag to keep it all stored in. Now, if you're like me in the football season, you tape your wrists and you do a full tape on your ankles, and if you're really hairy, a lot of that hair gets ripped off every single week and it can be super painful. Well, instead of going through that, just use the Lawnmower 4.0, take a little bit of that bulk out, maybe even go bald if you want for the football season, and that is a fantastic way to help reduce some of that pain. I promise you, you will thank me come football season. Guys, it's time to start taking care of yourself. Go to manscape.com and use code touchdown20 at checkout for 20% off your entire order plus free worldwide shipping. Again, that's 20% off with code touchdown20 at checkout, including 20% off and free worldwide shipping. It'll be the first link in the description down below. All right, back to the video. Okay, the next piece on your helmet setup we're gonna talk about is gonna be your chin strap. Now I have one here, but I have one off as well. And that's gonna be, we always recommend the Sportstar Victory T-Rex Hurricane chin strap. Sportstar are by far the most popular chin straps in the NFL, and I loved wearing one when I played as well. What makes this chin strap unique is going to be the foam on the inside here. The Victory T-Rex stands for this kind of pattern on the inside. The Hurricane is how it kind of goes like that. And then the little gel pad in there is something that cushions on your chin. They're also antimicrobial, which means that they're better for like if you get acne around your chin. And overall, they're just the most popular in the NFL. And they're like honestly a really cheap way to upgrade your helmet setup. If you want to pick up a Sportstar chin strap as well, we have them linked in the description down below. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is mouth guard. Now I think on the O-line specifically, you need to be able to communicate with one another, which is why I recommend going with a thinner mouth guard versus something like a lip guard. My favorite thin style mouth guard is actually going to be the SISU mouth guard. SISUs are really cool because they come flat. They're boil and bite style, but they're super customized for teeth. They're very comfortable. You can breathe easy in them, and you can talk extremely well. Your teeth are something you should always protect. And again, it's another cheap, simple upgrade. I think they're around $30 to $45 in case you get like their breath spray and stuff. So it'll all be linked again down below. Okay, helmet setup is done. Now we're gonna work our way down one level here and we're gonna talk about shoulder pads. Now this isn't the 1970s anymore, right? Linemen do not want these big, bulky shoulder pads. And frankly, we never needed them in the first place. Nowadays, O-linemen, if they could wear no pads, they would. But because they have to, they're looking for the slimmest option possible. So they're looking for small chest plates, small cups, maximum range of motion, and they're not worried about the health of their shoulders because they're not using their shoulders to actively ram into anyone like a linebacker or a D lineman would be. Now, if you can't afford to buy your own pads, which I get most people don't, especially at the high school level, I recommend asking your equipment manager for either a kicker set of pads, a receiver set of pads, any smaller skill position style of pads. I think I wore a receiver medium when I was playing tackle because they were the smallest and they fit me the best. But if you do want to get your own, the ones for O-linemen I actually prefer are going to be the Douglas Custom Pro line. Now the Douglas Custom Pro 24 SW flat pads are my favorite. These ones are worn by Trent Williams. They have a super small chest plate. However, they have the pads on the side to kind of protect your titties from the belts that come around. They have the pads around your shoulders here to protect your armpits, but the cups are super small at the same time. So they're a great lineman pad. If you want to pick these up, they're $530 in the description down below. Okay, next we're going to talk about arm accessories. Now it seems like when you kind of transition from high school to college to NFL, guys have different priorities, right? So it depends on the level you're at. Most of the guys in the NFL don't really choose to do a lot of accessorizing for their arms. In fact, the most popular arm accessory for O-linemen in the NFL would probably be the Mueller arm sleeves that you can put over and protect your elbows to prevent any hyperextension or any kind of movement like that. Those are worn by tons of guys, including Quentin Nelson and Eric Fisher. But if you do want to have a little more swag, you have the freedom to add a little more swag. You can go with armbands. Taylor Lewan and Lane Johnson both wear padded arm sleeves, so you can do that as well if you want a little pad on your arms. Again, it is completely up to you, but either way, I've linked a couple options down below. You can check them out. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. We're gonna talk about gloves. So in my opinion, there's kind of two options that you should go for when you are looking at gloves. The number one glove that's gonna work across center, guard, and tackle is going to be the Nike Dtack 6.0 gloves. These are by far right now still one of the most popular gloves among NFL linemen, and for good reason. Now we do have a full review on these if you want to check that out, but a couple of the key features: you have the injection molded pads on the top, you have the neoprene wrist strap on here, even the Nike is padded, great ventilation along the top, and you have that Nike Hydro Grip palm on the inside. What's nice about this grip specifically is it's great for a center to grab a football, but it also works really well as a friction grip to grab onto jerseys. Tons of NFL guys wear these gloves, including Alex Kappa, Brandon Sheriff, and Big Q all choose to wear the Nike Dtack 6.0. Again, they'll be linked in the description down below. I think they're 55 bucks. But if you don't like the lineman gloves and you want to go with something where there's a little more color options, a little more styles out there, you can go with a padded receiver glove. Now, if you want to go with a padded receiver glove, you basically have two different options. You can go with the Nike Superbad 6.0 or the Adidas Freak 5. Now, in the NFL, these Superbad 6.0s are by far more popular than the Adidas Freaks, but I actually kind of like these a little bit more. Now, the reason some O-linemen choose to wear these is, to be honest, I'm not really sure. They have receiver grip on the inside, which wears down a lot quicker. It may be better in some situations for grabbing jerseys, but I personally think that the Hydro Grip is better on those Dtacks. Nevertheless, they are thinner, they are more breathable, and they do have more color options and, you know, swag ability. Now, if you are looking between Nike and Adidas, the one thing I found with Adidas is these Nike fingers are very skinny. These are my true to size gloves, and I just find that they're just too tight on my fingers, so it's really hard to move in these things. These are not my right size in these Adidas Freaks here, but the fingers overall, when you're just looking down them, they are a lot wider and shorter as well. So I personally would prefer the Adidas Freak over the Nike Superbad. Again, I'll have them both linked in the description down below. Okay, the next thing we're gonna talk about is cleats. Now, before I start this section, I need to say that the cleat options for linemen are very, very limited right now because of supply chain issues. We thought Nike was gonna come out with some new lineman cleats this year, but Nike hasn't released any new cleats this year. So I'm gonna link all these cleats in the description down below, but the sizes will be very limited. So make sure to check back closer to the season and see if they've updated with more sizes. Also, do not forget to go ahead and subscribe, because as soon as any company drops a new cleat, we'll have a review on it, and that way you can see for yourself if those new ones are better than anything we talk about in this video. But nevertheless, let's get into cleats currently available for linemen. On the O-line, you're gonna want something with a beefy traction plate, great ankle support, and great protection for anyone that tries to step on your toes. Now, my favorite and by far one of the most popular options right now in the NFL is gonna be the Nike Force Savage Pro 2. Again, we do have a full review on these cleats, but a couple of the main features are we have this pattern on the top here of this molded material that is really good for protection and makes cleats kind of shear off the side. However, it does hurt your breathability. You have a nice beefy traction plate on the bottom here with these long molded studs that are really good for gripping into turf and grass. And you also have a nice high ankle strap here to lock that ankle in nice and tight. And if you want to pick up these cleats, again, I will have them linked down below. They're going to be really hard to find in your size right now, but normally they're around $140. Another option, if you are looking for something else, would be a Jordan 10, which I have here, or the Jordan 1s. The Jordan 1s are super popular in the NFL as well. A couple things about them though. I do like the upper, it's this leather material. However, the traction plate is an older version of that one, so it's a little bit worse. The circle studs are not as good for grip, but you do still have really nice high ankle support, and these are a little bit lighter. But again, these are almost impossible to find now. Now, my last one would be a recommendation specifically for tackles. Sometimes speed tackles want a little bit more flexibility and are willing to give up a little bit of that protection to gain a little bit of speed. For that, I would go with the Nike Alpha Menace Pro 2s. Now, the reason I like these specifically is because they have the exact same traction plate as those Force Savages, but you can see they're a little lower cut on the ankle and they're a little bit lighter. Material's not as thick, so you have a little more breathability, but you do lose a little bit of that protection. Another good option, these are around $100 in Eastbay, link down below. Now, as far as who's wearing them, again, tackles, Taylor Lewan and Trent Williams are both choosing this, whereas Michael Schofield and Zach Martin are both choosing to wear the Force Savage Pro 2s. Now, I'm not actually gonna give an Adidas or an Under Armour recommendation for cleats. Number one is gonna be Under Armour's cleats have kind of always fallen flat for me, and I've never really enjoyed wearing them. Number two is going to be Adidas. Now, Adidas is getting some better options, but they still don't actually have a dedicated lineman cleat out there that competes directly against the Force Savage Pro 2s. They have the Freak 22s, and we'll have a review on those coming soon. But at this point, Adidas doesn't really have anything that I would recommend across the board for all linemen. So there you guys go. There are my recommendations head to toe for everything an O lineman should be wearing in the modern era of football that we're in right now. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe. Thanks for watching.